Have you ever wondered why we often behave so irrationally? Psychologists do that too, which results in countless researches about human nature. Although there is still a lot of unanswered questions, and there is a long way to go until we find the definitive answer, for example, to why we fall in love with a specific person. Thanks to them, we now know a lot more about how we feel, think, and behave. Here we have collected 50 proven psychology facts that explain a lot about human nature and will completely change how you see the world. 1. Our early relationship with our mother has life-lasting consequences. There is a reason why psychologists ask you about your mother. One of the most robust findings of psychology shows us that no matter where we are born, the past relationship we had with our primary caregiver massively affects our adult intimate relationships, the way we handle stressful challenges, or our behavior towards our health. 2. A feel-good life is not necessarily a healthy one. We all want to be happy, but if you want to be healthy, you should rather search for meaning, says a study led by Barbara Fredrickson. They have studied the genes of people who are engaging in a lot of activities which makes them feeling good, but lack true meaning, like going out extensively, and the results were shocking. They had the same gene expression patterns as people exposed to chronic adversity. The group suggests stop running after momentary joys and start looking for activities with meaning. 3. Stress can be good for us. Contrary to popular belief, stress is not always a bad thing. Actually, it can be good for you. Psychologists have long observed that stress helps you accomplish tasks more efficiently and can motivate you to reach your goals. However, it is important to have good ways to respond to it, and to have possibility to recover from it. Without them, it becomes unhealthy, making our life miserable. 4. Speaking in a foreign language changes your decisions. You would not think so, but you might make different decisions when you are speaking in your second language. According to a study conducted at the University of Chicago, students using a foreign language made less emotional and more rational decisions. This suggests we might process information differently when speaking another language. 5. Some emotions are universal. No matter where you are in the world, people will recognize if you make a sad, happy, disgusted, fearful, surprised, or angry face. Due to this, these emotions are called universal emotions, and they are known across cultures and at a very young age. 6. Social connections might be more important to us than food. Maslow's hierarchy is probably wrong. His hierarchy of human needs says that at base levels we are driven by basic physiological instincts to survive, and only after fulfilling these needs can we move over to other needs, like social connections and self-actualization. But current research says otherwise, as it shows that our most fundamental need is belonging and our connection to other humans. This is what makes us engage in activities leading to self-preservation or self-fulfillment. 7. Some of us can smell colors. A few of us can see the shape of emotions, smell colors, or hear shapes. This interesting neuropsychological phenomenon is called synesthesia and happens when our mind involuntarily blends sensations that normally are experienced separately. The people who experience it tend to be born with this skill. 8. Botox could treat depression. According to the facial feedback theory, our facial expressions influence how we feel. So scientists have temporarily disabled the muscles needed of sad facial expressions with Botox injections. This made people lose their negative emotional experience, and they have reported decreased symptoms of depression. 9. Things that happen to us in early adulthood are with us long term. Have you ever noticed how your mom likes to speak a lot about the things that happened to her during her early 20s? Or ever wondered why people love coming-of-age teenager stories? Our preference for recollecting memories from adolescent and early adulthood is called reminiscence bump, and it might be because of the many changes we experienced during that time, and our mind tend to remember changes more than a bit more monotonous periods. 10. Listening to classical music is good for your memory. Do you want to perform better at learning something? It might be time to open your classical music folder, as listening to classical music was found to enhance even older people's memory performance. The finding is so robust that it has its own name, the Vivaldi effect. 11. Our friends know the future of our romantic relationship better than us. According to Tara McDonald and Michael Ross, if you are in love and you would like to know whether it will last, you should just ask your mom. They reported that dating couples tend to predict the longevity of their relationships through rose-colored glasses, so asking their friends and family served as much better predictors of whether their romances would survive. 12. We prefer our own accents as soon as 5 months old. Babies are born with the ability to understand all accents of the world, but from the age of 5 months they start to prefer and listen to their mother's accent and avoid connection with people with other accents. 13. Kids with dyslexia are more emotionally responsive. Although many times dyslexia is seen only as a problem, it can be a sign of a uniquely functioning brain with many strengths. For example, watching the same videos, children diagnosed with dyslexia were observed to give more emotional responses than children without it, suggesting an atypical, enhanced way of noticing and processing emotional cues. 14. Experiences make us happier than material gifts. If you want to give the perfect present, remember that psychological research suggests that purchasing experiences has a more lasting positive effect on people's happiness than material objects, and looking back, people will also believe to have spent their money more wisely. 15. Isolation can hurt us physically. Call your grandma. Being socially isolated and feeling lonely have seriously dire consequences on us. They make us more prone to poor mental health and can lead to serious, undesirable cardiovascular outcomes. 16. Narcissistic people tend to be more politically involved. Researching who takes part in elections and other political activities, scientists have come to a surprising result. More narcissistic people can be more involved in such activities, may it be signing petitions, donating money, or contacting politicians. Add to those results that narcissistic people also prefer their own personal gain to the societal needs, and we might see the root of some of our current problems. 17. Air pollution hurts not only our lungs, but our brains too. After researching the brain of older women with Alzheimer, researchers have found those women's brains showing smaller brain volume, who were living in areas exposed to higher levels of air pollution compared to those who did not. This suggests that foul air could damage our brain, altering its structure negatively. 18. Westerners are more anxious. According to a study, collecting data from 147,261 adults aged 18 to 99 years, anxiety is more prevalent in high-income countries than in countries with poorer socioeconomic environment. The study further suggests that poorer people living in Western countries are the most anxious population in the world. 19. Atheists sleep better than Catholics. In a paper published in the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, researchers claim that atheists and agnostics are significantly more likely to be better sleepers than Catholics and Baptists. 20. Happiness is contagious. And so is sadness. The basis of this phenomenon might be our natural tendency to mimic the behaviors and facial expressions of others. Scientists say this emotional synchrony happens unconsciously, but the extent of it depends on the intimacy we share with the other person. 21. People with lower self-confidence are more likely to be successful. People usually think that high self-confidence is the key to achieve success, but according to business psychologist Tomas Chamorro Premusic, it is not exactly true. As he says, low enough self-confidence makes you more open to feedback and behavior changes, which result in better workplace results. 22. Proper sleeping hours improve our memory significantly. Do you want to remember something? Give yourself a good night's sleep. According to a study, fresh memories stick better if we have a well-deserved rest after studying them. 23. Writing by hand makes kids smarter. Although life is getting more digital, psychologists argue for keeping handwriting part of our curriculum. It seems that kids writing by hand learn more and remember better than the ones using a keyboard. It might be due to the fact that handwriting activates more senses, which helps to create connections between different parts of the brain. 24. Daydreamers are more creative. Our culture tends to see mind wandering as bad, but actually, according to psychologists, it can be just a symptom of being intelligent and more creative. 25. What we say first is what sticks with others. First impressions are more important than you think. Scientists observed this at many parts of our life, especially when convincing others, so you should not be afraid to speak up first. People tend to remember the first argument for a longer time, and they also influence our opinions stronger. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think and leave it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel to watch new videos.